In this video, Rachel Watson is providing tips to help you pass exams even if you have test anxiety. Rachel is passionate about diversity, equality, and inclusion and includes it in everything she does. She is an architect, Salesforce MVP, career coach, and speaker who co-founded multiple diversity, equality, and inclusion groups: 100 Days at Trailhead, Women in Tech Developers, otherwise known as WITDEVs, Phoenix Salesforce Saturday, and several internal Accenture DEI groups focused on underrepresented populations. Your quest, should you choose to take it, is to journey with us to learn ways you can pass your exams even with test anxiety. Your quest begins now. Welcome! It's Rachel and Jessica from 100 Days at Trailhead, the place where the tech community comes to learn Salesforce, learn tech, get inspired, have fun, and invest in ourselves. Whether you are brand new to learning Salesforce and starting from the beginning, or mid-career and skilling up for that new opportunity, we are your trail guides here to support you with an itinerary to help you get where you're going. You are in the right place. If you are new to our channel, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can be notified when we release a new video. In the description below, you can find links on everything we mention in this video, in addition to links we find helpful, like books that have helped us and our friends along our tech and Salesforce journeys. To find other helpful Salesforce and tech content, visit our blog at 100daysoftrailhead.com. Hi, my name is Rachel Watson. I'm a Salesforce MVP. I'm one of the co-founders here at 100 Days of Trailhead. I'm a speaker and a career coach. I'm here to talk to you about how to succeed despite having test anxiety. Well, I've had test anxiety for my entire life, or as long as I can remember. And I've come up with some tools and techniques on how to work through that so I can be successful, and I'm going to share some of those with you today. Also, I realized along my journey that I've been taught a whole lot of myths around test anxiety and how that can affect me and can affect anyone with test anxiety. So some of those myths are this. Number one, it's your fault if you have test anxiety. I don't believe it's my fault for having test anxiety. I think it's something that is just a part of me, and I have to deal with it and figure out how to succeed. So that's number one. Number two, if you study hard enough, you can pass your exam and you can do really, really well. And clearly you didn't study hard enough. Well, in reality, I studied way more than my peers. I could get right before the exam. I could do like basically an oral examination, kind of quizzing each other back and forth before we ever walk into the exam room, and I'll do great. But as soon as I hit that exam room, I've frozen, I've shut down before, I couldn't recall any information before. There's so many things that have happened, and so I had to figure out how to work through that so I could succeed. So I'll share some of that with you today. Tip number one, you need to figure out what your triggers are. So there's so many things that can trigger you before the exam, leading up to the exam, and during the exam. And you have to identify those, because if you don't know what they are, then you can't prepare yourself and decide how you're going to react to those instances that cause your anxiety levels to raise. So for me, if I don't know what the exam is going to be like, so I don't know what kind of questions are they. Is it going to be multiple choice? Is it going to be, one big question and then I have to write a whole essay and that's my whole exam? Or what is the test going to even look like? Trying to get what it will cover, some sort of framework as to what it will cover. And then also the exam room itself, people getting up, walking around, loud noises, and then my negative self-talk. Those are my triggers. So now that we have thought about it and we've identified our triggers, what's next? Number two, preparing for that exam day. So you have to get yourself physically and mentally ready. Mentally ready is studying your butt off for that exam, making sure you're very, very well prepared so you can go in with confidence. And that should help you quite a bit. But there's a physical aspect too. Make sure that you're physically preparing by making sure that you get plenty of sleep at least 3 days ahead of time up until the exam, 8 or more hours. I can help with understanding how to get better rest and everything like that. I have done quite a bit of work on that. And then eating correctly. So, backing away off of those carbohydrates, totally eliminating sugar for 3 days completely. The reason that you want to eliminate it is because carbohydrates and sugar can cause brain fog. So if you're anything like me, where you have a test anxiety and you have a tendency to try to blank out, or you can't recall the information if your anxiety levels get too high, you don't want brain fog on top of that. Number 3, check out the examination room. So if you're in a situation that you can go and you can study in that room early on, go for it. That's a great way to get yourself used to the room. But oftentimes as an adult, we have to go to a testing center, and they're not going to let you just go in and study in the testing center room. But you can email ahead, call ahead, and ask for accommodations. You can also go ahead physically, get the lay of the land, understand where the restrooms are, understand what the process is going to be like to go into the exam room. Take a look at the room itself. Is there a place that you would like to sit more so than the other? Are there other kinds of things that would help you do better in your exam? Communicate that to the individuals there and see if they're willing to help you. Sometimes you have to get the accommodation approval ahead of time. I've gone to the same testing center for years now, and I know quite a few people, if not all of the people that work there. And so I'll just go in and I'll ask them to sit in a specific seat. I will ask them about a handful of other things that help me, and thing that is within their guidelines. Typically, they're happy to help you. Number 4, you have to teach your body how to respond to that anxiety when you have a physical response. So when you have a physical response, your body tenses up, your shoulders come up around your ears, and you're going to have to untangle that, because that can actually affect your mind as well. One of the best ways to do that is with breath and slowing the breathing down, because on a physiological level, when you slow your breathing down, your body naturally falls into place. So what you would do is you would inhale for a count of 5, and you would exhale for a count of 5. So we're going to look at this GIF, and we're going to do it together. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. In order for this to work really, really well, you need to condition your body prior to the exam. So this is a practice that you would do once, if not twice a day, just for a handful of breaths, maybe 3 to 5 breaths, just practicing this way, slowing that breathing down. And you can utilize this to help combat that physiological response. So number 5, stopping that negative spiral. So the negative spiral that I'm talking about here is that negative inner self-talk. So maybe you get on a question, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know this question. I don't know what they're asking. And with that, you want to make sure that you're able to move past that, move past the question, even if you skip it and you come back to it later or what have you. You have to get out of that mental negative thought pattern. And one of the best ways to do that is positive self-talk. So I do coach on this. I coach on the breathing. I coach on the preparing for the exam and, getting your sleep patterns and different things to relax into sleep. I coach on all of these things, and I'm happy to help. And with that, we're at the end. Which tips did you find helpful? Do you have a tip that you can share? Comment below. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you've made it to this point, we want to take an opportunity to say thank you. Since you stayed with us, here's a bonus. If you are in the middle of an exam and you get very, very anxious where it just totally takes you over and you can't recall anything, you blank out, take your time out. Even if the clock is running, the fact of the matter is you'll do so much better if you just take a time out. Close your eyes, take a few breaths, at least 3, maybe even 5. You still might be anxious when you open your eyes, but when you've slowed your breath for 3 to 5 breaths, you have taken a period of time out and you should be able to concentrate a little bit better. And then just continue to breathe a little bit slower than normal to get yourself back on track. Again, your body has a natural physiological response to the breath, especially when you're conditioned to breathe properly. I hope these tips have been helpful to you. Please comment below and let me know what tip has been helpful or tips that have been helpful for you. If you have a tip that you want to share with me, I would love to hear from you. If you need some assistance, please do reach out to me. Please like and subscribe this video. It means so much to us and it helps us get this content out to others. Thank you for spending time with us. Make sure you like this video. It helps a lot. Click subscribe and on the notification bell so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on Instagram, Twitter, and on our website at 100daysoftrailhead.com, all of which are listed below. Thank you for learning with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.